Coming up the show this week, we have our good friend Stephen Sweeney on the podcast. We're going to do a business-themed podcast. In it, we talk about property, dying businesses, pubs, the lockdown, vaccines, cashless society, squatter problems, working with a wife.
Working with a wife.
Warren Buffett, or Warren Buffet, Jeffrey Epstein, Ochi Chacha, Bill Gates toilets, Jeff Bezos, Amazon Prime, Outlander, and capitalism. So let's go.
Let's go.
Welcome to episode 24 of the Carbon Copy COVID Cure podcast, which may contain some bad language. It's on Spotify, Apple and YouTube. We're a wedding band from Central Scotland on lockdown. My name's Martin, I play guitar in the band. I'm joined by our lead singer, David Swan.
How's it going, folks? Long time no see.
We've got our bass player, Mark Caulfield.
Hello there.
And our drummer, Neil McDougall.
Hello.
We've also got a very special guest, a good friend of the band, highly experienced property investor, developer, founder and owner of Rhino Contracts, Sweeney Group, and the Sweeney Apartments in Motherwell. This guest is also a brilliant musician, and he's played drums in bands with myself and Mark from the band for many years. So please welcome to the show, entrepreneur extraordinaire, Mr. Stephen Sweeney.
Can't laugh that.
I wrote that intro, was that right, mate? Is everything technically correct there?
Well, it's actually, you've downplayed me a wee bit, Mark.
Oh, have I?
I'm just glad I managed to read it.
Aye.
You done well, Merv. You nearly an entrepreneur, Brett. I can't say either. Entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur, it's French, mate.
Ooh la la. Ooh la la. This feels a bit strange having somebody quite professional, and I mean you're a local hero now, Sweeney, really, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're like one of. I look at you and Martin like the Mitchell brothers in Motherwell. You know what I mean? He's running the whole show now, and he's really. Aye, definitely. But he's doing really well, mate. It's good to see.
I mean, we've cracked on. Kind of 2016, so like I started the business like Rhino and that on 2014. So 2014, ran it for a couple of years, and then Martin was a store manager with Tesco, so he kind of ran multiple Tesco stores. Prior to that, he'd a lot of experience in like restaurants and things like that, so like Mitchell's and Butler, he managed pubs and restaurants, so really kind of corporate background. And then just the opportunity came up, like Martin was really just hating what he was doing, and like it's a tough gig as well. Know that what we are doing, it's the toughest gig, but in terms of Martin was going through a wee bit at Tesco, and he was just like, what am I doing with this? And I was kind of stowed out and as well, and I thought, let's just run at this and take it. So that's what happened. And then kind of fast forward to now, quite a kind of substantial portfolio under our belts in terms of the residential housing and flats and whatnot, and then that's kind of spiralled into commercial to residential refurbishments. So like we've done an old office block, turned that into five flats. They're a part of our portfolio, and we rent them out. And we're building now for housing associations. We've got a job in Motherwell. They're now building 13 flats for the ground up. it links with investment cash flow overseas, down south, and a number of business partners and backers that we push on, and we start to we're starting to build like retail, so like drive-throughs, roadside retail, so like just to mention a few, like co-op and different things like that. So it's went kind of 5-6 years. It's went quite mental, but it's a lot of work. So it's been fun. It's been fun.
See, for him to think about that, like, I'm going to start my own business. I'm in a job I hate. I'm going to start my own business and I'm going to do it. We've obviously kind of done that. Well, I went full time in the band in December, and then 10 years it spent trying to get full time, and then coronavirus hit 2 months later. But see, for him to doing that, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said the biggest advice I would give anybody doing that is like, just fucking go and do it. Just that you've got the plans and all that in place, but like when you just said, we just decided let's just do this and actually put the head down and fucking work at some at a goal, no matter how hard it is. The property game's the fucking hardest, sharkiest game that you can get, and for you guys to just go in and you've just excelled at it. You can see it through your social media, you can see it through all the stuff that you guys are getting pulled in for these awards. And was it an award in America or something like that? He's won as well.
Go to Vegas.
No, I mean
Vegas, and we won a UK property award as well on top of that. So
that's not easy, that stuff. And a lot of people maybe just look at that and go, oh, look at them, they're able to post that on their Facebook and stuff like that. They don't realise the fucking work that goes in behind that to actually succeed and get that. So fair play to you, man. It's great to see two boys for the Shire doing it, man. It really is. Because you don't, and there's not a lot of people that have got the balls to just go like Martin's done and went, right, I'm just fucking wrapping this job I hate and I'm going to go for this, and you've succeeded. So it's really good. I'll drink to that. I'll drink some of my Aldi port to that. How's that for you?
Can you get that through the internet? Just fire it through. Fire me a wee hoff through.
Yeah, that's the next thing. That's coming, isn't it? Really, that'll be class.
And you'll be buying a drink, and an Amazon drone will be flying in the window. But you're right. See that kind of having a set of balls. That's what a lot of people don't have. But I didn't mean it in that way. But it's
no, I know what you mean.
Aye.
You have to commit, and it's a whole thing of it burning burn the bridges type thing. So like if you've got only one route and one way to go, more than likely you'll make it. So if you've got plan B and plan C and plan D, you'll fall back in that. And I kind of I started a business. I started a business when I was 19, 20, 21. And then, it didn't go too well, and then I ended up going back to uni and everything like that. And I look at that time and I go, was I wasting my time? But I took a wee breather out and then I went back in. But it's having that, like, if you can look up, you can get up. Do you know what I mean? Like, no matter, because it's difficult. No matter what you do, no matter what is, anything that's worth it. It's going to come with some sacrifice and some grit. And having that, see, like they've done, and like we even with the Rhino contract stuff. So we were saying, right, people were paying our wages, and we were running into contracts and things like, because we done housing associations, we done private boilers. Mark, I think we fitted your boiler. We've done loads of that sort of stuff. So boilers in people's houses. Then it went to kitchens and bathrooms in people's houses. Then it went into housing associations. So like 100 kitchens and 150 boilers under a contract to deliver that. But that's all paying your wage. And then when we started getting into the property stuff, then there was a bit of it was almost like right, you've got this paying your wage, but see the property's really the things. It's like maybe getting a number one hit, like relating it to music. So if you put in that work and you get that effort and you get in the right song and it pays you out, forevermore. If you get the right property and you buy it the right way and you refurb it in the right way and you get the right tenant in and all that, it's almost like it's then it just pays you every month.
Yep.
You have to do all the work at the start. You need to put all the investment in, put all the sweat and the effort in at the beginning, but when it's yours, and it's under our properties are under our company's names, numerous different companies, and they create a wage for us every month, and they'll do that forever. And it's all about the kind of legacy thing, like passing that down to our family and building that, and things like the houses and the flats and all that. Like, the more you go into it, you're doing things now that are deemed a bit more sexy. But see your bread and butter. See the £4 rent every month, and we go in and we this isn't, we buy properties in good areas, but they're good. But we put really good stuff in them, all the kitchens and bathrooms, everything's completely refurbed, all up to top of the knowledge. Make sure that our tenants are well looked after. If there's any issues or problems, they're getting sorted out straight away. So it's providing good quality housing and decent areas. And we'll continue to do that, no matter what way the business goes. Veering off to different, different markets. We'll always keep filling our purse with these sorts of properties, to be flats and houses. But before we started doing that in 2016, we were thinking, how do you buy that? How do you do that? How do you do that? And we took a wee bit of training before we went in, because as you said, David, it's a minefield. Like, you can very early fuck it all up, as it were, and left high and dry. So we took a decision to really kind of get educated a wee bit before we went in and started spending dough. And that gives you the confidence to attract investment, and people are attracted to that success as well. So, there's a few books in that as well that really have been pivotal in kind of what I'm doing now, the mindset and all that sort of stuff, particularly in and around property.
Any recommendations then? What's the best one?
There's a book, I don't know if you've ever heard a boy called Robert Kiyosaki. Have you heard of him?
I think so, no.
Robert Kiyosaki is a guy, right, who is deeply ingrained in property stuff, but see if you Google him, right, it'll come up like he's basically one of the biggest influential people in they call kind of try to get out the rat race, freedom of not needing necessarily a job to fulfil your lifestyle choices. Do you know what I mean? Say like you guys are going with a band and stuff that you love and gigging and all of that, like, but you've got the day job and stuff like that. Like, everybody's going to have that day job, but they're going to have that. It's what you really want to do and what pays the bills. You've always got that thing. So with the property is if you master how to buy assets that essentially enable you to cover your wage, as it were. So if you needed $2,000 a month, for example, that's 10 houses, 12 houses, paying you a couple £100 a month forever. Do you know what I mean? There's that mindset shift for going for, I need to go into a job to earn cash, whereas flip it on its head. I want to go out, I'll buy a cash flowing asset, which i.e. a small property that will give me a couple £100 a month. After all said and done, the mortgage is paid, XYZ, and you go, there's £200 a month, right? So if I get 5 of them, that's £1,000.
Yeah.
You get another 5, that's £2,000. So it's like, when you look at it in that way, where now we started buying them, but then that money starts coming in every single month, and it covers the wages, it covers the bills, it covers the mortgage, covers the outgoings, so that your mind's freed up to do other things, and that stressy pain the man, as it were, is taken away in a certain extent. But so that was a guy, the Rich Dad Poor Dad is the book, and he shot to fame because he went in Oprah. He wrote a thing about your house as a liability, not an asset, which people think, oh, your house is an asset. It's no. Anything. The distinction is anything that takes money out your pocket is a liability. Anything that puts money into your pocket is an asset.
Yep.
So if you've got a house, your mortgage payment takes money out. So it's not actually an asset. You might have equity in it, which is a different thing.
Yeah.
So you're having to pay that. You're having to feed that every month. Same with a car. You know, it's a liability. Same way going out and blowing $4,000 in fucking a Gucci handbag and a fucking set of shoes, set of sliders, whatever. You know that. But if you direct your cash into things that are going to make you money, that's what you should be. That's what you should be doing. So he said, an asset and a liability. Your house is not an asset. And America went mental. He ended up on Oprah. And he done an hour-long interview with Oprah, and then it went kind of wild from that point on. And it's a whole kind of, I suppose, a philosophy about how the economy works and everything like that. But if you can get things, you can go out and do your job and work. So like you guys you're going out and doing things that you love in terms of the music and everything like that. But if you had a bit more backup as well and assets coming in, then you know your life's better if you've got a bit of money in the bank, innit, I suppose.
That sounds really interesting, aye.
But we ended up, he ran a few different courses and stuff, and there was one in the UK, and I kind of logged onto it, and we ended up getting, that was, it's an American company, the Rich Dad company, so we ended up winning the UK, we ended up getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, and Vegas, for that company, and then we ended up getting the UK Property Award as well. So we get the UK version of it, and we get an international version because of what we've done and the timescales that we've done it in. So that's pretty much. That was it seems like ages ago now, but it was like the end of 2019 in November. We went out there and. It was around about the same time we get the UK one as well. So.
If you see when you go to something like that, I'm guessing it's probably a big bunch of property tycoon people and stuff. So, did you is that these types of things? Do you make contacts with people and think about trying to set up in America and stuff? Is that?
There's enough stuff here. There's a boy that one of the guys that I met out there is, he's like, I think he's got something like 500 apartments or something like that over 40 different blocks. So you see how here you get multiple, you get houses, right? But social housing and things like that. But they'll buy flats, blocks of flats. Mm-hmm. But over there it's multi apartments, so it's like big units and stuff like that, 50, 60, 70 kind of houses. Me Mexican guy, you'll see him, Javier Honjo, the boy's name is.
Honjob?
Honjob. No, but he took us under our wing when we went over there. But he's just one of the guys that. There's loads. I mean, there's some of the stuff we're pushing into it in a big way, and some people might go, look what the boys are doing, but there's some guys that have got it there. The days are gone now, but thousands and thousands of houses and flats and property.
I suppose the world's your oyster really with property in a sense, because everybody needs a property, don't they? So it's like.
No matter what happens with, as you're saying, Martin, with the internet and everything like that, there's one thing that's for certain is that people need somewhere to stay, and what happens when you look back to how cities and towns and that developed, it's all quite. If you look back enough and do a bit of reading, it's all you don't build a block of flats out in the middle of Lanark. Next to the Coos, do you know what I mean? There's local planning, there'll be certain points where the town expands. For example, the project that we are doing now for one of the housing associations in Lanarkshire. We got all the plans for that plot back through to like the 1900s, right? And it's like mad. You can just see how Motherwell developed. And it's all based around about industry and logistics and all of that. Big thing now is like up at the Ravenscraig. So that's the biggest brownfield site in Europe. What it is the biggest brownfield site in Europe.
In Europe, is it?
It's basically undeveloped land that has been. Obviously, the Craig was there, but you'll get greenfield sites, which is like stuff like, you know, the cows in the fields and the sheep and that are out there, and they'll only release that at certain times to if the city's expanded. So all the time everything's expanding in it. So like the East End of Glasgow, that's expanding out. The Commonwealth Games, you know, there was a lot of investment into that area out there. But you know, it's like Times Square, for example, in New York. That was in the 70s, and that was just full of drug addicts, and you wouldn't walk into it, and you would get mugged or stabbed. You know, but when money flows into it and development happens, it changes areas, and that's what happens. So you just need to be, it's a constant looking out for you know what's coming next or what the trends are. I mean, now obviously the high street's dead, innit? So the shops are coming back, pubs and restaurants are under real pressure, and you're going to be in a position where, you know, how do you redevelop that? So that's what all the councils and business are saying, like the whole click and collect thing. So I read a thing the other day that, you know, these stores like Primark or whatever it might be that instead of these as retail, they'll use it as storage, and people just come to the door and collect it, and then you've got the whole Amazon thing, stuff getting. But what do you do? Like, see if you look at Glasgow Town Centre, you know, Kilmarnock Town Centre, Motherwell Town Centre, half the shops are already shut, and at the end of the year, probably the other half will be shut.
I know, and it almost kind of makes it like it's a bit of a problem, because if you take that away, then you're just basically left with just a big area with housing, and that's it. What there isn't, you're taking away the sort of I was going to say the soul of the place. I don't know if that's quite right, but you're taking away a lot of the history and a lot of the you know, the things that define a town or a city. If that disappears, the pubs and the town centres and that, then that will never come back, and then it takes away any identity for any places.
Sorry. I'm fucking laughing at you, dropping mics and that.
I'm sorry, man. Sorry, man. My life, I'm telling you, I'm actually texting Keane because his bassist Jack is fucked down at the one-eyed dog. And I'm like, get a bass off, John. What do you want me to do, Keane? I'm recording a podcast, know what I mean? What do you want me to do? See, the day I had to go and pick up a shed, I'm just going to moan for 5 minutes, lads, right? The day I had to go and pick up a shed, and I'm like to him, can you come and give us a horn? 17-year-old, 6'2". What time are you going at? 8 o'clock, too early. I'm like, and then this shit, know what I mean? My jack and my bass is fucked. What do you want me to do? Click my fingers, like you say, Sweeney, send a fucking Amazon drone down to you, the new. Honestly, mate. Sorry, lads. Sorry.
Right.
I'm interrupting all this, and that was dead interesting, Sweeney. I'm dead interested in all this.
That's interesting.
Fucking annoying, this wee dick. Don't cut that out, Spike.
No, it's getting kept in, fucking right, eh?
I want to fucking hear it, man.
Keep your Bobby in your drawers the next time, eh?
I know. Listen, what age are yours now? You've got the one, haven't you, Stephen? Two kids? One kid. And it's a wee boy, isn't it?
Wee boy, aye, he's coming.
Aye, you're the same as me, man. Give it 15 years, you're fucked, man. You're absolutely fucked. See, wee lassies day shit for you and that, know what I mean? Wee lassies all day stuff for you. See, boys, fucking nightmare. Yeah. Absolute nightmare, man. I do this for me, do that for me. Can you do this for me? No, can I fuck? Right, okay. That's how this works then. Know what I mean? Sorry, I'm just
Is that
going
your
to come
phone,
in every
mate?
5 minutes.
Is
It's my phone, my watch, my MacBook, my fucking... It's everything pinging all over the place, mate. I don't know what to do here, you know what I mean?
Get it on silent, man.
How do you put a phone on silent, a watch on silent?
For the ball.
Away, man. I'm 16. If you touch me, you'll be in the jail. Sorry? 16. Can you not hear me, man?
You're 16.
Aye. So, how you...
I'm 69. I'm 69.
If you touch me, you'll be in jail, mate.
I'm 69.
I'm 16.
I'm 69. Fucking Joe.
So what...
Yeah, I think you're right. Like, it's a social aspect to it. We're social animals, aren't we? With the you know, coffee shops and all that. Like, that's a biggie. Like, who would have thought to drive? You know, no, it's not social, but who would have thought to drive through a hot beverage in a car when you're driving?
Not seen that coming.
You know what I mean? Who would have thought that? It's just laziness.
Aye.
Nobody going out their motors. But in terms of like the kind of social aspect of things, we're never going to get away with that. We're social animals. Like, a year we've been at this, I guarantee you that, you know, as soon as we've seen it with the parks, as soon as we're let loose, we're going to be wanting to socialise, because that's who we are.
Aye.
And look, pubs. I suppose my point is with pubs that were maybe on the brink and weren't maybe quite successful before. They'll kind of fall by the wayside, and the pubs that are really kind of strong, good, they've been there for years, they'll still be there, but you'll have a fallout of things that just happen. It's just a natural thing. But anyway, like nearly 2008, the other big crash was, and then 2021.
Aye.
Everything's been picked up now by government, so it's become the end of the year. It's going to be chaos.
I don't mind the fact that the people that are struggling will go, because that is legitimate fucking, what is the word I'm looking for, losage, I suppose, you know what I mean? That's stuff that would have went in the end, because we see it all the time, pubs that are just no making a penny, they're trying to bring bands in, and they're, you know, and they think you're going to bring a 52-seater bus with you, you know, and they're just grasping at straws to keep their sale above water and stuff like that. Yeah. So I think the guys are going to go anyway, but like you're saying, I think there's opportunities in this for the really strong pubs. I mean, everybody's fucking gagging for the boozer. See if you do it right. You know, we're all wanting, like you say, Sweeney, the communities that we all come from, we're all sociable people. We all want to go down and see each other every now and again and have a blowout and have a drink. And so the pubs that can really still be there and survive and do that and be the centre of the communities and stuff like that will really survive and thrive, I think. Like anything in any of this, coming out of this, it's the same as in our... You'll be the same in your business. It's the same in ours as well. See the bands that just stick it out and are able to keep pumping out content and just keep it going until you can actually get there. I think you'll see so you get rid of the kind of the young guys, without being stereotypical in our game, but you know, you get loads of young guys joining loads of agencies every year, like, this is a great way to earn $4,000 a week, we'll start a wedding band, and they don't realise you need to fucking go and do this and do that and do all the rest of it and do all the dealing with the punters and all the admin and everything, you know, and they guys, they kind of swamp the market. So I think that's the same in pubs, and probably be the same in property. It weeds out the kind of a chaff, and then you're left with the people that have got, right, do you know what, we're strong, we're stable, we can come to the fore, and we'll be the forerunners for everything. We'll take all of this as, you know, the desperation business that's coming by, because there's going to, as soon as they open pubs, Sweeney, you know, pubs are going, the ones that can open are going to be fucking mobbed, do you know what I mean, for a long time. So
you think the pent up demand, you just wish you could carbon cut a cookie cutter the carbon copy. If that's you know what I mean? You used to have 4 bands, man, to jump into all the opportunities here, because let's face it, you know, weddings and fucking bar mitzvahs, fucking whatever else you want to shake your stick at, that's all going to be happening, and it's going to be happening, you know, this November, December, January, February, March, April, May, because
It should be happening now, if I'm being honest with you, Sweeney. I mean, this is all varied opinions, but you know, the vaccine, I'm fucking sick of it, but I've followed the science and I've been in agreement with all. People are no safe, there's a worldwide pandemic, lock yourself up, stay in the house, and I've followed all the stuff with the science and signed up to all the articles for Financial Times and Guardians, and I followed all the stuff, and what they were saying right for the start was you've got 18 months of this, right? So prepare yourself. So see if you're in business, prepare yourself for an 18-month period where you're going to be in constant up and down lockdowns, and then when you get the vaccine and the vulnerable are vaccinated and people stop dying, that's when you start getting back to business. But now what I'm seeing now is we've got half our population fucking vaccinated, right? So deaths are going to be really low no matter what happens, as in fucking, you know, letting people out and no letting people out. But what I'm seeing now is goalposts getting moved for, got to get my tinfoil hat on, for social control. As they're moving goalposts for it, because what they're saying is right, we said about the vaccines and all the vulnerable being vaccinated, but do you know what? Do you know what we might need now? We might need you all to test yourself twice a week, and we actually might need vaccine passports to let you into places, and we might need this and we might need that, and see that's just no letting go of the laws that you've had control of for the last year. See, right now, if I'm of opinion, we should all be sitting in the tavern doing this, because if I was the Prime Minister, I'd be like, right, everybody that's vulnerable and should die has been protected. See, all you guys, don't stay away from each other now, go and fucking get it, because I want you all to fucking get it so that we're all herd immunity as quick as fuck, because see all these guys out here that will die, they're all cool, so don't worry about it. So that's the science, and that's what I followed all the way through, and I was like, so that's what's happening, I'll do this, and I'll shut my business down, and I'll do all that, and I'll sit in the house, and I'll fucking no day, whatever you want me doing, I'll Zoom fucking selling games and lose 10 in a row cause of you cunts, and then the next thing fucking, yeah, it's alright, do you know what, vaccine passports maybe, we might not let you out when they're vaccinated. We might need everybody vaccinated now. Why do you need everybody? 1% of people die with us. Why do you fucking want everybody vaccinated? Get me out to the pub. So that's a party political broadcast from fucking Swan Fane.
It has been used a bit of political football, is it? Mate. Now it's like Her Majesty giving, you know, just extending another week or two with, you know, with what Boris was doing, and you know, whole what she's doing and what he's doing is two different things, and she's just this. And, no, it's a sore one, because you know, obviously it's a true thing. Do you know what I mean? It is here, and it's mad. I can remember me and Mark went down to London at the start of March, and there was two boys. We were in Gatwick, and it was two boys. This was before the lockdown kicked off, went a big style, and there was two boys wiping the side of the plane down with antibacterial wipes and masks and gloves and all that, right?
While it was flying?
While it was flying?
When it was up in the sky?
Right? Bullshit. Gear and that.
Fucking hell.
And then 10 days later, that was it. I'm sure Martin had it as well.
Oh, really?
I mean, shared the room. Martin's like, the biggest grafter ever, right? And he's like, man, I just don't feel well at all. I just feel like terrible. Like chest, like really bad. He's like, I need to get him. And him, like a few days, like 2 or 3 days, totally floored. And Alana, Martin's wife, was totally floored as well. But I never ever got it, and I'm sure as shit that they had it.
Aye. I mean, see, the bottom line is nobody can really. I've not heard any answer from, if you've protected the 1% of people that die, why is there any more restrictions? If you've protected the 1% of people that are dying from this virus from a vaccine, and there's been a 95% take up in the highest vulnerable groups, why have you got any restrictions? Never mind fucking passports, you cunts. Know what I mean? Get it to fuck. It's just suspicious to me, and I will always be suspicious of the Tory bastards, because they will look for anything that they can get and anything that they can control people with, and that's the way it will go. And it seems to be that a lot of countries over the world are.
Things like conspiracy stuff. I'm like, how can somebody construe this foul thing?
No,
of course not.
You know,
No.
I know.
The whole, see, like chip and pin, right? I always talk about this. They shut up.
That was a big one, wasn't it? The chip and pin. Who's got to steal my chips?
The chip and pin disease.
So right, I'll tell you what, right? So chip and pin, right? So cash has gone out the door. HMRC can't trace it. Got businesses, all that.
Yeah.
Hiding place, right? So the banking system, all that want you to chip and pin, everything. No chip and pin, like, use your card. So small transactions, it's now £15, it's up to £30, up to £40. That will no reverse, right? So using cash anymore. You'll get it when gone are the days of somebody walking up with a bag of sand and in readies and saying, "There we go, boys," or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
The days are numbered if no gone, because it's
they're already starting to go into really.
I've literally went to the bank once in a year. Maybe twice, maybe one or two times in the whole pandemic. I went and picked up cash. I don't know if yours are the same, but I'm happy to let it go. I'm done with it.
My point to that is, right, is that they know every transaction that's happening. So they know where you shop. All the data's there. They know what you've paid in tax, what you're due in tax. There's no ambiguity. See if every single transaction is recorded.
Aye.
Ambiguity about that beats the system, but it also drives up the price of everything. So see your pound. So, for example, right, we don't do it anymore, but when we done stuff for house, like personal jobs, residential stuff, people wanted to pay by card, but we get charged, call it 2.5%, for us to have a card machine and that transaction to go through. Every time you pay for something by card, the
charge you.
The shop get charged, and therefore that goes back. So they need to bump your prices up. So who's paying that? You. It's the same like Just Eat.
Aye.
And all of that. You phone your Just Eat, go to the camera, and it hangs £12, but if you do it through Just Eat, it's £16. Because Just Eat's the app and it's easy and you stores your.
Well, you need to pay a delivery driver and that as well. Of course, I suppose
Sweeney's got a point. It's right. It's auditable. It's all auditable. So they're trying to just say, right, I want everything to be auditable, and I think we'll end up at that point very, very soon where everything's
there's
just
no
cashless.
doubt. We're pretty much there. There's no doubt if we're not there, then we're going to be there. The argument that I don't like about this is when they say, obviously taking away money, that means people won't be able to beg in the street and be homeless. Surely the answer to that is don't fucking have homeless people begging in the street and actually come up with a solution to that. Do you know what I mean? But I think there probably is something in the. Why should somebody need to pay for the transactions? I suppose ultimately there'll be a company somewhere, but
banks are cunts.
But it should be free at the point of use. If we're going to say there's going to be no money, which we're saying there is, then it should be free at the point of use of no money, if that makes sense. There shouldn't be a charge. The government should be arranging it as being free instead of a private company coming in and taking a % in each swipe. Do you know what I mean? Which, as you say, goes back to the customers.
You're right, Mel.
It should be fucking...
You worked in the banks as well with me, HSBC and that.
Yeah.
See now the base rates. We worked in the DFS side and the retention side, the selling side. That you see how the ins and outs of this work. So see when we worked in HSBC and you're selling a loan back in the day, it's 5-7%. Whatever it is, maybe some of them are 14%. But see now that since 2008, and we've been at the base rate of 0.25 for fucking 5 years or something like that. So banks are not getting any money through interest. This is why you start to see this shit. This is why you start to see you need to pay for every transaction, make it a cashless society. Banks control all that. So that's where you start to see the legislation coming through in Parliament, and they start to up the chip and pin amounts, and it's just slowly catch a monkey, and then you get to a point where you're paying for every transaction in a business bank account. You're paying for we do our payments through our website with Stripe, and they take 2.5%. So every single company takes a cut of that as well. But at the end of the day, it's the banks that make the rules, and they get the legislation through to the government to make that happen. Know what I mean? It's a rig. Everything's a rig.
You see payment systems, but that's different. The payment system, see like Visa, MasterCard, all that sort of thing, even PayPal. Like that's a different. That sits out with the banking system. That's like people that it's a payment system that's kind of an automatic.
So it should exist within it, though.
Your payment.
But the bank are still taking a dividend off that fucking payment system or that payment company because they need to bank with somebody.
Well, the government should be running it. That's what I'm saying. It should be. If you're going to say it's free to have cash. In a sense, once you've got your cash, it's free, so it should be free to use your cash when it isn't cash, if that makes sense.
Aye.
So if somebody's making money on it, then that isn't right somewhere. That'll continue,
Never.
obviously, like the rest of it. But
I suppose it's the
it
best.
should be controlled.
It's the best. It's the best system that the world's come up with so far is a capitalist society. Do you know what I mean? I know it doesn't sound like that great, but when you look at like what's happened in terms of like, if you do want to kind of push on, be rewarded and stuff like that for what you're doing. It's kind of the best system that's kicked about to this point. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, and all systems come to an end, didn't they? Do you know what I mean?
I think capitalism is the best system for some stuff, but I don't think it's the best system for every aspect of life.
I thought we were talking about cash as a system. I thought we were talking about cash, no capitalism, because cash.
We're getting into deep side.
That's true, man. Aye, definitely.
No, social.
How did we get from vaccines to Bank England base rates?
Oh,
Neil, what's your thoughts on this shit?
Also, Neil, where's your fucking beard?
Neil, where's your fucking beard? Somebody stole your beard, mate.
I had this off last time, did I?
Did you?
The practice, no? Aye.
Just because everybody else in here's got a beard, I suppose.
Aye, we've got shit to hide, mate. We've all got shit. I've got 3 chins to hide in this fucking thing. You know what I mean?
Since you've come on, Sweeney, and it's a business, you're obviously in business, a very successful business, we thought we'd do a business theme. We try and do a theme for each.
Business.
Let's get the point across.
So the question is, if you weren't in your current business, what business would you be in?
That's better. I like that. That's good.
So Sweeney, if you weren't in your current business, what would you be in?
To be honest with you, we played in bands down with Mark for donkeys, and that was one thing that I wanted to really push it and try and push through and make some dough at. And obviously we didn't quite get there on it. And the next thing was always I started a business when I was younger, so it was always a kind of entrepreneurial kind of, with that pub and with the mornings company, and it's always going to be something that I was my own boss. So and then property, I bumped my the bridges are well truly bumped in terms of what we are now on this mission to really. We've got big goals in terms of what we want to do, where we want to be in the next 5-10 years. So, I suppose an answer to that question is that I wouldn't see myself. It would be some form of property related company or business, because there's that many of them. Nothing really else would float the boat at this point, and that's it.
Did you set out to do what property after your? Did you say you had other businesses previously, and then you maybe tried a different avenue and stuff? Did you have a clear idea of has everything worked out the way you planned it, or is it? Do you think there's in these types of things there's a bit of see how it goes involved in it?
Well, the whole thing about the property stuff in terms of buying, like I was saying before, buying property that will feed you money every month. It's like an asset that will feed you cash every month, and then it's a case of gathering them up as much as you possibly can. So we've done that and we tried that, and then it kind of we will continue to buy the smaller properties, but then you go into, once you're in it, it's like you're going, well, what can we go into next? What can we buy now? What avenue should we go down? So we're now developing things out, and when I really started reading the books and stuff like that back in 2014, 2015, it was property development. That's where it was, and then whatever route that took us, that's where it would go. That's where the other thing as well. I don't know if any of you boys read any like autobiographies and things like that. And
I do, man. Aye.
I've got Audible, and I just fucking it's
Audio
constant.
books.
And if I'm on holiday or whatever, I'll have like, hardback books and stuff like that. But a lot of business books and autobiographies, and a lot of the true wealth creation stuff is these guys have came through assets, through cash, through property based assets. In terms of that's where they've either pulled money, and took a loan out against the properties to push their business, or because it's no easy. Like the barriers to entry on building something out and developing something and putting a business in that and there it operates it's a lot of work, and you need to pull a lot of strings together to make it work. You need to have the kind of the strategy in place, the investment in place that backs that. You need to have the team that develop these things out. You need to have the cojones to try and do all that and pull all that together. So it's no easy feat. But
No.
With development, that's definitely something that we would we've always kind of been looking at. Where it'll be in 5 years' time. Because if you spoke to us in 2015, 2016, saying right, where do you think you guys will be, and what we've achieved now. It's good to look back on, but it's just the start, I suppose, isn't it?
That's the way to look at it, mate. Aye, definitely. My brother's in property. He deals in a lot. It's much the same as what you guys are doing. He works with Paul McFadden. I don't know if you know the boys, but he's big into it like yourself. And what would you? This isn't my question, by the way, but just on the back of that, what would you say to a simpleton like myself? Because even you're on here talking about property, and I hear my brother Richard talking about property. All I hear is you need to go and get this loan, and you might have a tenant for hell, you've got this work to do in the house, and and you're stuck into this for 25 years. All these alarm bells kind of go off, and the people that, like myself, that don't know fuck all about it. So how do you, I suppose you would have had the alarm bells before you went into the property, so how do you subside those? How do you go, right, okay, there is those kind of risks that are there, but how do you get out of that mindset of, it just sounds like too much fucking work, that? Do you know what I mean?
Everybody needs to work, don't they?
Aye.
You need to be doing something, or you'd go stark crazy, or you'd go fucking mental. So if you think in 10 years, the next 10 years, you're going to have to work at something. So why work at something that you're never going to, or you don't enjoy, or you're never going to get paid, you're just going to get paid a wage. You guys are doing it with the band. You are building a brand. You're building something up that there comes a point there. Obviously COVID now, it's fucking a disaster for everybody, but a point where you will not do any marketing whatsoever, and it will come, be folk working tap your door to time, like your marketing and your branding and the fact phenomenal band out there doing all that, but that's what you want to do, and that's the stuff that you want to get involved in.
I think you're right there, by the way. That's a valid point, Sweeney, because the work, well, if we look at our business for a 10-year kind of a portfolio perspective, the first 5 years is just fucking graft and slogging and flying pint tumblers and all the kind of pubs and playing for 40 quid a night, and then you get into the middle section where you start to be, people know that you're decent and you can put on a good show and have a good party, and you start to get paid a wee bit better for it, and they tell their pals about it and they tell their pals, and then you get into maybe the last 3 years, maybe the boys will disagree with me, but the last 3 years where you don't need to be out going, hi, we're here, people know you're here, and people come to see that graft part, like you say, that's valid, mate. So if that's the same in the property game, then that's a valid answer to me. I'm just a lazy cunt, just, you know what I mean?
It's a hang with, like, it's going to be difficult. Anything that you do is going to be difficult. Things are more difficult than others, so why don't you try and do something that you really, really enjoy and you want? I don't, like, see the stuff that we're doing now. the big. There's issues, there's problems, there's fucking a million and one things that could go wrong. There's a million and one things that go right. There's stress and strain at all points. There's fucking dealing with everything. Constant every day. It's on your mind all the time.
Yeah.
But I know there comes, with all that franticness, there comes a bit of calm. And then you look back and you go, right, okay, or you're in that situation. We're dealing with the housing associations now. We're dealing with investors now. That we put ourselves out there. These guys believe in us.
Yeah.
We're in. We've got commercial agents and retainers and things like that are out searching for plots of land and whatever else. Like that. There's a lot of uncertainty, and there's a lot of you need belief. You need proper fucking belief.
Aye.
You don't look down, don't look sideways, and don't look up. Look forward.
Yeah.
Look the plan. Stick to your plan.
Yeah.
And work it. But if you're in a job, you're doing all that, taking all that shite. You don't want to do it. Why do that? You're fucking. You're only here the once. Do you know what I mean? My big
absolutely.
My dad always says is life's not a dress rehearsal. So go for it, and fucking, go for gold, because what else is going to really make you tick, make you happy? You want to look back and go, right, we had a go, with a real go, we made a success of this, we had fun when we were doing it, we had fucking all the shit of the day, but we've made it happen.
Aye, absolutely. Good advice, mate, as well.
Can you turn a light on? I can hardly see it.
Fuck's sake, Spike, that was a bit creepy, man. Here, mate, can you turn a light on? I can't quite get to the tickly bit here.
That better?
That's a bit better, man.
You want me to put a full belter on?
No, you're alright there, I think. Well, try it, see
try
what happens. Banquo likes his lights. Neil, you look as if you've got nappy rash on your face. You've been out in the sun?
No, I don't know what it is. I've been trying to play with the lights in here because I get kind of 3 separate ones, but
is it really, the lights that are doing that to you?
It really tries to get up the. Well, to be fair, I've had so much shite all over my face, not actual shite, but like cement, dust, you name it, everything I've been working on. So
that's you, mate. You're looking well.
I probably got some chemical burns of some kind.
Some baddie out of Batman.
Steve, I can see you now, Stephen.
Yes.
It's also probably the alcohol as well, to be fair. I'm pretty.
Yes, I totally agree with that. Sweeney, I like that. Cut that at the end of that positive point. I really like that, because it's like fucking go for it. Don't look anywhere else. And by the way, can I just say, always get back to this kind of thing, but see guys that are coming for the Shire and doing it and trying to do it themselves and trying to fucking push aside, they've got that drive and that commitment to that, like you guys have. You have came for, the scheme and all the rest of it, and and coming out and going, right, do you know what, we're going to fucking go and do this, and not being able to look back and sideways. It takes a lot of fucking balls, man, at that point where you're like, this isn't working, because everybody gets in business, no matter what side of business you're in. You always get that point, you go, is this worth it? Is all this shit worth it? Is all that? And you're weighing it all up on that, but be able to go, do you know what, no, I don't want to be fucking getting paid 250 quid a week off this person to work 8 hours a fucking day, when I know I've got more inside me to be able to go and earn fucking 20 times that for myself, which is a great message for anybody out there, man. I really like that, Sweeney. It's decent. I'm going to drink to that one, I know, mate. Cheers.
Eat that Amazon drone here again, man.
There will come a time soon, my friend. There will come a time soon when we can share one of these.
No, definitely. But that's it, like, what else would you be doing? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. I like that.
That's the fact you need to work to pay bills and whatever else. But you're on the same boat as us. You've been out and been, we're going to make a proper band. We're going to make a proper success of that. And you're doing it. It's no different from what we are doing with the property. Because it's difficult. There's tough times, but
the rewards at the end of it.
Doing that fanny a boss. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, absolutely, man.
Deadlines for this, that, and the next thing, and you fucking
here.
Like punching numbers into a computer or whatever it may be. But you need to. You need to do it. You need to then be diligent. You need to be fucking driven, self-focused, and all of that, and be. Got up early, go to bed. Like, what is it? What's Big Army say? Big Army Sauce now, mega.
First in, last out kind of thing.
Early to bed, early to rise, work like hell and advertise.
I like that.
But he's got a mad story as well. He was a mad bricky and all that, wasn't he? And then he sold all the protein gear, and he was a millionaire before he was a bloody movie star. Know what I mean?
This is it, man. Fucking stuck at it. Know what I mean? Stuck at it. Look at Spanko. Spanko came for the hard streets of Carnoustie. We got him as an immigrant. He came in as an immigrant, right? And we took him under our wing. And look at him now, man. He's living right outside Parkhead. He's got designer dogs, designer fridges.
Designer dogs.
Cunt's living the dream, man. Cunt's living the dream. Know what I mean? And you, son, you've got an emo haircut and everything now.
Fucking hell. Getting a haircut tomorrow. Can't wait.
Where are you
Coming
going?
off. Duke's Barbers or something like that.
How much?
15 quid or something.
You're a liar. You've never spent under 40 in a haircut in your life, mate.
Fucking, it's 15 quid. Spending less and less.
My question, if you had like a whole client walk through the whole thing, I wondered if you ever had like a squatter in the house that decided to try his luck, you know, like the movies all the time, you know, where they're living there and you're like, wait a minute, you shouldn't be living here, or you get, or...
You had to have on that, right, it was somebody we rented the property for, rented our property, and when COVID came, so the government basically said that you can't evict him, right, regardless. Which is fine, everybody's in this terrible situation. But as soon as that happened, the boy just stopped paying his rent, right?
Fuck's sake.
And our estate agent went, tried to phone him and all that sort of stuff. See, we were talking about problem tenants, ended up the door getting kicked in. He owed somebody money or whatever like that, and it's just a brand new flat that he'd renovated. And so the boy wasn't paying the rent. Next minute, something happened. It was the same letting agent that let his brother. Something happened in that other house, and then our house got done. Front door kicked in, fucking all the carry on of the day, but it got all repaired, and then he went back in, and he just stayed in there. And we obviously we're helpless to do anything, but he stayed in there. But we went his own accord, because we ended up. You can't like formally evict him. So legally there's a process you need to go through to do that, which you couldn't do. You still can't do it.
No, you can't formally evict him, but we can North Motherwell evict him.
It ran through my mind. Don't get me started on that, but the issue is that we are registered landlords, so we haven't above board. So like we me and Martin are registered with all the councils that we've got properties in. And
do you need to play the game, really?
Well, you buy play the game, don't you? You go, fucking right, cool. But there's fun and games out there, man, to be fair. And it's a loss for us on that property, but you know, we've done it in the right way. I mean, you could see if we've been down there and rattled his door, we could get to jail.
Aye.
That's how, you know, that's how, you know, kind of...
Because the laws with the corona stuff, that you'll be a pushy landlord kind of thing, they can turn that run on you. Aye. That's a fucking dodgy one, that.
A more serious question would be, what does a tycoon mean, and are you a tycoon?
It's not Richard Branson you're talking to. It's Sweeney for the shit.
I just read, and anyone in business is like, oh, this tycoon it just sounds like something of the Looney Tunes, and I just thought, obviously,
I always thought a tycoon was maybe a cousin of a raccoon.
It's a tea bag, innit? And,
That's a typhoon.
and it's a big storm.
Brilliant. I'm going to change my question for you, Sweeney. See, because you said that Don was shouting in earlier on, I know Don takes a big bit to do with the business and really has a lot of involvement with you guys, does all the social media stuff. Would you say that having a good woman behind you backs that shit right up and you're able to keep going through the dark times and all that?
No.
No? Get her in here! Get her in here! Brilliant, mate.
I was just taking come back in case you heard me, Swanee.
She'll battle you, man.
No, Don's come on. Don's now kind of, what she's really doing is working with like the Sweeney Apartments and Rooms, so that the hotel that we've got, she's doing kind of a lot of the social media stuff, but she's also doing a lot of the kind of day-to-day stuff on a kind of 3 day a week basis. That was picked up really by Martin previously, and then we've got the portfolio stuff, which there's a lot of kind of admin things. And then we've got another company it's a property sourcing business that Gillian McCluskey works with us. So that's like going out and we work with investors that want to invest in property in the UK, and we marry up good properties with them. And Dawn's a part of that, so it's kind of multifaceted. But she, obviously, Dawn worked with really kind of high powered job in that before we had the wee boy, and then she's kind of now, probably about a year ago, started working kind of 3 days a week with us. But it's invaluable. But there's a lot of stuff. I mean, you'll know yourselves running multiple businesses, so there's horses for courses, as it were, in terms of like everybody's got their set thing that they need to do, and to make it all work and make it operate and run. Because it's always one thing building all these sort of things up, but then it's managing them out. You know what I mean? I suppose probably my strength's getting out there and getting investment in and getting deals going and all that sort of stuff. Martin's very operational. So he used to a supermarket. Do you know what I mean? That's no my strength.
That sounds like a good mix, so Stephen. That sounds like a really good mix, that, man. And you need that shit. Like, see if you've got that diversity in the two partners like that. That's fucking. You're halfway there. Do you know what I mean? That's really good. That's good to hear.
You trust each other implicitly, and everybody, both make mistakes. Both are the same mindset. So we go, that's the goal. That's fucking it. There's no ifs and buts and maybes. That's it. No matter how difficult it is to achieve it,
we get there. We get there.
The day's going to come. But we're going to have good times. We're going to have bad times. We just need to push on and realise it. And a lot of people stop. You've seen. You said, Davey, earlier on. There's that. It's a great picture of the wee boy with the axe and that, and it's got the whole. There's a story it kicks about like a seam. There's like a seam of diamonds almost, isn't it? And basically he spends fucking call it $100,000. Back in the 1900s, call it $100,000 trying to dig for this seam of diamonds and whatever else, and he's literally about 2 metres apart, but he gives it in. And then the other boy comes in and fucking 2 metres down the line, he hits it. And then you've got there's a wee diagram that kicks up Facebook and social media and that, but it's that literally
keep going,
hammering, chipping away, because it will come. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, mate. Aye.
You can't no come. Do you know what I mean? Like,
no, that's it. If you aim for that, son.
People and all that shit.
Aye. Love that, man. That's dead positive shit, Sweeney. Love it. Brilliant, mate. Fucking brilliant.
A big portion of it's all it's mindset stuff. Huge mindset.
Do you read? You were mentioning that you read a lot of mindset stuff. Do you do the Wim Hof stuff and all that? Because I do a wee bit of shit like that. And the extent of mine is like Blind Boy podcast.
You can't hang up about Gary. Who's it? Fucking Vimchuk or something like that.
Gary Vaynerchuk.
Vaynerchuk.
Gary
Gary?
V.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Gary V.
Or Gary V.
Oh, big Gary. What the
Gary
fuck you on about?
Vaynerchuk. He's like a
He's from Kernelsey as well, you know.
he's like a New York Polish guy from New York. You've fucking seen him probably on Facebook at some point, but he's like a kind of modern day business mogul guy, but he's really, really, really active on social media and stuff like that. Like super active.
So who posted
He's all
about him?
about that. I put that on the sheet. I put that on the
Oh,
sheet.
sorry, right. Oh, right. Oh, sorry. I see that now.
I think there's been on social media, right, and there's been on social media because, as Big Arnie says, work like hell and advertise, right?
Yeah.
Because if nobody knows who you are, you're obscure and you're in obscurity, and nobody knows what you do, who you stand for, and what you get up to, and that, then you're going to find it difficult, no matter how good your product or whatever it is. But then you get the other side of it where you've got folk talking absolute fucking nonsense on it, and
Aye.
just it's like
Aye. How do you find that reality in there?
aye, but it's like the next, you see it all the time in property stuff, and you'll see it with the young bands or whatever, and everybody starts somewhere and all of that, but like fucking, I've done this, I've done that, blah, 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 and it's all just a lot of shit, or I've tried to
Blowhard.
course or something like that, or whatever. Like,
Aye.
I know I was very apprehensive about going on a course with the property stuff because there was that much shite kicking about, and
Aye.
and then I ended up phoning the rich damn fucking company in America saying, is this your course? Before I committed anything to it. So it's a fine line, I think, if you're out there and people know what you're doing. But it's definitely, like, you need to be on it and you need to be pushing it. We've a good few news articles and stuff like that, talk on us and things, and there'll probably be more coming out over the coming months as well. But I definitely see it where, like, you've got folk that it'll be every single day there'll be something going up and blah blah blah, and you're thinking, I know how busy I am. How have you got time to just fucking sit and talk about the fact that you've had a coffee and you've taken a photo of the coffee and cost the coffee? Do you know what I mean? Fucking, what's that?
Aye, there's a lot of fur coat and no knickers, isn't there, in a lot of businesses nowadays. There's a lot of that, and being able to see through that takes a lot of knowledge and experience, and being able to go, right, that's a bunch of pish, I'm going to focus in on this thing here. Aye.
Yeah.
That's good, mate.
Oh, shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome along to Bangor or Saint. This is David Swan here. We're going to ask Stephen Sweeney, the tycoon mogul of the property world. Stephen, Bangor or Saint, Warren Buffett?
Buffett.
Buffett.
It is actually Buffett.
Buffett.
It's not Warren Buffett. No.
Hey, can we have a Warren Buffett over here, please? We don't like any of the cold Buffets, but have a Warren Buffett, please. So Warren Buffett, Stephen Sweeney.
Saint reason being, obviously one of the best kind of investors. I think he's 90 or something like that now, but one of the best investors.
Same age as Tam.
Same age as Mer's beard. But, it started off kind of like, I think he got a few $100,000 investment, and I don't even know what the latest thing is.
He looks like one of the two Ronnies.
What is it? How many billion?
220, I think.
Is it? Half of his company. But like they've he looks at companies and he looks for very particular things, and then invests in them. He did make an arse investing in Tesco. Lost a lot of money in that, but like Coca-Cola, all these big brands, he's identified what their key strengths are and backed them, and backed a few big horses. Stayed away from technology, never went in near any of the IBMs and the Dells and the fucking Microsoft.
Silicon Valley.
Didn't understand it. Didn't want to understand it. But a serious, sits in his office and makes these big plays with other people's dough. But one of the richest companies in the planet.
He sounds very like Jeffrey Epstein, the way you're describing him there. He is, so it does. I mean, I was apart for the paedophile part, but like the way you're describing him, that's what I can't. Nobody knows where he got his money for. You know what I mean?
No, your man's. Warren's got a bit of traceability, man. See that you mentioned that boy, that Jeffrey Epstein, man. Me and Don watched that, and I'm like, what the fuck? I couldn't believe it.
I know, man.
Who was it? The boy? Was it the boy who owned Victoria's Secret? Was it?
Aye. 85-year-old guy that owned Victoria's Secret gave him all his billions, and then nobody knows why he gave him all this, but he bought the islands and all that. Well, obviously we all know now, because obviously the Elgin was into fiddling kids, and he got all his money, got billions out of him, but the boy at Victoria's Secret's not.
I just couldn't believe it at all. I just couldn't believe it.
Quite an eye-opener, but these boys that have got all this money, I'm reading this Warren Buffett now, quite like this Warren Buffett, but he's 85.6 billion quid net worth. He's a philanthropist, a chairman of CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. What's that?
Berkshire Hathaway's a company. His company. But what he's done, see with him. So one of the big things that he's done is, see, you're saying philanthropic. Him and Bill Gates, basically, they've clubbed. It's something like they're all going to give 90% of their wealth away or something like that, some mad number.
To charity?
No, but it's like talking like Bill Gates was trying to eradicate polio, so they've literally got it down to a wee region in Africa.
What's he got against the peppermint sweets?
Fucking hell, mate, I was shite. That's shite,
That's the best joke this whole fucking podcast.
Keep that.
But they're giving all their wealth away. I think he's going to leave his wains with a couple of million quid, but
God love them. God love them. How are they going to survive with that? God love the poor fucking wains on the street with that couple of million quid in their back hippie. The wee wankers. He looks like one of the two Ronnies has ate too many pies.
He plays a mad guitar, Merv. He plays a...
Does he?
Aye, a wee banjo thing. I can't remember it. A ukulele. Is it?
Aye. Does he play that? Aye. I know he's got a relatively modest house for a billionaire, I believe, as well.
He drives about in a truck and that, doesn't he? Goes in for deals. Go on YouTube. And
I'm on him now. I'm on his Wikipedia. He actually looks like somebody who would be doing the Ooga Shack at St Bernadette's. Like that. Didn't I know? It definitely did.
That's a fucking inside joke, eh?
Nobody will get that. Ooga shaka, ooga. I can't stop this. Every time your dad sings that, I go into that chorus outside because you're playing and I'm not. And every time Jim starts singing that, ooga, it sounds like that. Ooga shaka, ooga, ooga.
Oh, aye.
I can't stop this feeling. But it's not that. It's know how your dad does that mad dance and all that, and singing in the rain. That's what I think every single time you play that, man. Ooga shaka, ooga, ooga, ooga shaka. Here, Neil, you've yet to experience this. You're sitting there looking at me as if I'm talking shite. This is the reality of your life now, mate. You're going to be playing St Bernadette's in January. Well, Stephen's dad gets up and sings as the Ooga. What's it called, actually, the name of the song? So is it Ooga Catcha?
Uchi Chacha.
Uchi Chacha.
The Uchi Chacha. Aye.
You're not party of that with the primary school and that? Fuck's sake, man.
I know, I'm not. I'm fucking look. Know what I mean? I'm one of the scumbags for South Lanarkshire. I don't know any of this North Lanarkshire stuff. Anyway, Spanko Warren, Buffy, you banger or saint?
He seems like a quite a good guy for a billionaire, aye. As I say, he's got like a modest house and all that, and yeah, just what Sweeney described there. He seems like an alright bloke for a multi-billionaire, aye. So saying, saying.
That's the thing he says. It's like he just knows how to do it, so he does it.
What about you, Neil? Do you know him? I've never heard of this cunt.
Well, you know, it says right here that he's a tycoon, and I still don't understand what tycoon means yet, so I'm bordering towards banger here. But I like, just because what you said there, mate, about him, he's kind of like a dinosaur he doesn't want to touch technology. I quite admire that, I quite like that, and the fact that he's made tons, you know, fuck technology, I think he's good at that. Good on him.
Must be a drummer thing. I thought it was just because Tam was 90. It must be a drummer thing. So you all hate technology.
No, I mean, to be fair,
technology.
I love technology because I understand it. I get it. I mean, it's dead easy for me to understand it, but I don't understand how people don't understand it. But I guess it's just a language, I guess. But but the fact that he's been able to do that without it is, you know, in this day and age, I think it's pretty.
I doubt
impressive.
very highly he's made 87.5 billion without using technology.
Without emailing somebody.
I doubt very highly that he's
all
got
pigeons
anywhere
and stuff.
near 87.5 billion without using a computer, I would say.
Aye.
What about you, Merv? What's your take on him?
I don't know much about him. I've never heard him until tonight. If he's got Buffy in his name, then it's a saint for me.
I knew that was coming. The old cheese board. Warren cheese board.
Warren Buffet.
As long as you get a scran out of Merv, you're fine.
Merv's a very simple man. As long as he gets a fucking scran, he's a happy man. That's all you need. Stick your 85.7 billion up your arse, Warren. As long as we've got sausage rolls and some Edam on some crackers, we're cool. I like that. I'm reading some of his stuff, but he's fucking he's a learned man, put it like that. He's got a lot of education.
Oh, right. I learned, right, okay.
Learned man,
Learned, right.
Like, he's like, see if I was born 500 a year ago, he's like, I'd just get the shit kicked at me, you know what I mean?
Aye, he looks like that.
Born into the right time, and understand the numbers and understand all of this stuff, and it just so happens that I'm in the right place at the right time, and I've been owning. He's done his finance thing, and he's obviously swept up, but his money's not a driver for him. It's gone back into society and gone back into things that are going to make a better world type thing. So
I quite like that then, if he's like that, if he's like the Bill Gates thing and he puts it all back into the world. I like that shit, man, because see, if you're doing that, then you're definitely accountable in my eyes as being a good guy. If you're making all that money and then going, I'm going to shovel it back into good, fair play to you, man.
He's the one that the club, I can't remember exactly what they're called, but he's clubbed them all together. All the wealthiest people in the world. Him and Bill Gates now do it, and they say, you're never going to spend all this cash, so deploy it through these, our charities and these things, and we target specific problems, and try and let that thing eradicate polio, and there's a whole thing going on. Watch the Bill Gates thing on Netflix about Bill Gates, and
I've seen it, mate.
I've seen it, aye.
It's good.
He gets up to, he's trying to, like drainage, simple things like that.
Aye, sewage. Aye, I seen that, man. That's incredible. That they can't invent something that will make it go through these like streets and stuff like that. So they invent something completely new. I'm paraphrasing.
Toilet.
The toilet that went up the way or something. I can't remember what they done. I watched it that long ago, but it was about the sewage systems in Brazil or something like that, and they had none in place, and then they actually had to go and invent something. Gosh, somebody come in here. Have you seen it, Sweeney? You know what I'm...
So it's like that. You think about the infrastructure, like your drainage and sewage systems, water, all of that. That's what, because see, like Britain and the Western society, they've known how to design that stuff and then implement it. It's been here for years. But a major thing is that if you're shitting and it's coming up with your drinking water, and it's like that's how, like, here with developments and everything, like Scottish Water, all of that, they're all over everything, because it's like that infrastructure is key. Because if you human waste, all of that stuff, if it mixes in with your drinking water, and it if it sits or lies anywhere, it attracts all the germs that will kill us. And it's such a key thing. But on developing countries like Africa and all that sort of thing, they've not got that drainage infrastructure. That's how like the UK worked that out hundreds of years ago. and that's how cities grew and developed because of all of that. It's mental. Like, read into that. That's major.
I can remember that bit specifically about that documentary about they were in, and what you're talking about there. The guys were walking up down to the river where the drinking water was, with barrels of shite, and they were just emptying it all into the water, and they were like, these guys are fucking taking the drinking water, and they were talking about putting the sanitary toilets in, but there was something to do. In fact, I can't even mind, so I'm not going to get into it. But they invented a toilet that was completely different. Bill Gates had a guy that went away and invented some. It was a way that it disposed of it. That used to go down the way because of gravity, but they used the pipe work to go up the way, or something like that, and then it burned it at the end, or something along those lines. Anyway, that's my fucking drunk, stoned memory of that. Documentary, to be perfectly honest with you. But it was really good, because I can remember looking at it going, that guy's got fucking billions in the bank. If he switches on his Facebook, then everybody's going to be calling him a vaccinating cunt and all the rest of it because he's got the vaccines. But he's actually sitting in a meeting in the middle of Abu Dhabi trying to make sure that the toilets in Africa are going to be sanitary enough in 25 years' time, when he's not even got to fucking be here, know what I mean? So fair play to him. And if that guy's the same, that Warren Buffett guy's the same, or Buffett guy's the same, the old cheese Buffett is the same. Now I need to, Spanko, I'll need to pass this number 2 over to you, mate, because there's no fucking way I'm pronouncing this. I
think it's Gary Vaynerchuk.
A pot deep.
I think it's Gary Vaynerchuk. Right,
Gary Vaynerchuk. Who are these people? I just seen a message for you earlier on, like, I don't know any of these folk, and I was like, oh, I will, and I don't. Who are they?
Right, Gary Vaynerchuk. I think I know you're talking about, but I couldn't tell you thing about him.
He looks like Pee Wee Herman.
So I
he's
think
a modern day business kind of.
What was that? A social media guy?
Aye, proper social media.
He's got
guy,
3.5 million following on Facebook.
Jesus, suffering. That's one more than me. Spanko, where did you get these guys for you reading stuff on business?
No, I've
and
been
shit?
watching.
Why are
Gary
you trying
Vee
to
for a
better
while.
yourself? That means we can't fucking annoy you.
Don't know. I think I've been following him for a while. I stopped following him because he's quite intense. He's really intense.
He looks as if he's got a really weird haircut as well.
He's almost a kind of he's a positive thinking guy, but a bit more sweary, and he definitely deals with negatives as well. So I don't think he's completely unrealistic.
He's got a thing on his website that says how to quit your job professionally. Quite like that.
Sounds good.
It's like a big link.
He's seen things like he knew Instagram was going to be fucking massive way before anybody else and stuff like that.
I hate Instagram, man. I hate Instagram.
He's one of these guys.
I'm not photogenic. Get that to fuck.
I mean, he's like, this is where technology's going. This is what you need to do. Kind of go. He's one of those guys. But he's a bit of a banger. So
has he been on Rogan or anything like that? This guy
definitely been on Rogan. Aye.
Never seen him either. I thought I've watched every single.
What's his banger tendencies?
Aye, Spanko. Fucking stop.
What's the?
Aye, where are these bangers?
I don't know.
We're usually
I don't want to say he's a saint.
I
don't want to say he's a saint.
I need to base my decision on what you tell me, because I don't know. So
I will
need
never
more
do that, Melf.
information.
As long as I live, I will never base my decision on something Spanko's telling me.
I think he gives good advice then. So aye, saint. I've just changed that around. I think he does seem to give
saint,
good advice.
I'll go saint as well then.
You'll not like him though. You'll not like him.
The banger then, he's a fucking banger.
He looks like that wee right wing guy that's on Rogan a lot. You know, the wee squeaky voiced guy that looks like 16-year-old.
Oh, that fucking prick! I know who you mean with the slick back hair.
Aye. Neil, what do you know who Gary Vaynerchuk is?
No, that's the first time I've laid eyes.
You look as if you've got a suntan in your butts.
Yeah, I'm pretty hammered, to be fair. But no, I'll banger, because I feel like I've not said banger in a long time. So
I know it's good to say.
I know
it
feels
that's
better.
a good enough
It
say it, mate.
feels better. Yeah, it feels better.
It
He's not a tycoon either.
I'll go banger as well.
Fuck it.
What have you read, Sweeney? What have you read? What made the bangers come out there?
What have I not read? Deputy Dive 2021. Ascent Summit 2021. No Bullcoin.
Aye, sounds like a prick.
Anyway, brought to you by Circle. I mean, get into it, like, so you get that, but some folk are just wild.
Do you know that he's up and coming events in the 6th of April? are the NFT and future of the digital content economy, brought to you by The Circle. Banger!
I fell asleep halfway through that this morning.
I know, mate, that's what I'm saying. Fucking banger. That guy's a banger. Total
Double
banger.
based the most classic content. I don't know, it's just like...
Never heard of him, Spanks. Where are you pulling these guys
I
from?
thought, aye, he's quite famous.
See, when you say it, I thought that I thought in my mind that's who he's talking about, it is. But I've no... He's maybe just too annoying. Like, I've maybe watched 5 minutes of a YouTube video and went, I'm not dealing with that.
Yeah.
I'll give him a barrel, but not an actual barrel, but I'll give him a barrel.
Anyway, Jeff Bezos. Neil, what do you think of Big Jeff?
Is he on Amazon or
Oh,
something?
he's on Amazon.
He's a
aye.
paedophile, mate. He's a reptile paedophile. He delivers
Well, he'll have to be a
children
banger
by
then.
drones.
I can't exactly say he's a saint if that's what's happening. I'll just be safe in case anyone hunts me down. He's clearly a banger.
Spanko, for Arlo thinks he's a banger. What about you, Spanko?
Too much money, man. Aye. I hope he's doing good stuff with it as well. Probably not, but working conditions and that aren't great. But he obviously knows how to make a buck or two. Clearly, I think he makes. I think I said this in episode 4, but he makes $1,200 a second or something like that.
What he's actually done, though, to me, I think about actually how big that company is. It's just fucking.
It's
That's
unbelievable.
staggering, man. Staggering. But he's a liar.
Is
He's not even a banger, he's a liar. So see that shit, sign up for 70 quid a year and get your Amazon Prime. For a start, let me start on that, right? So 70 bangers a year. 70 bangers a year is a lot of money to me. That's fucking 2 tavern gigs. Know what I mean? Well, 1.5. So I'm signing up for 1.5 tavern gigs a year to get my stuff delivered the next day. See if I go into that and it says Amazon Prime, I expect that to become the next day. See somebody shit you order, it's like 3 weeks later.
Do you always check that it's Prime though, mate? It needs to
All the
you need to
time,
make
mate.
sure that it's Prime.
Spanko, it's me. I've got OCD more than you. Know what
I
I
have
mean?
to
So-
say it's pretty fucking convenient.
I've heard of down there. It's been there that night.
We got a Morrison Shopman ordered at 11 AM
You
on
stay in
Sunday.
Glasgow? I
And it
stay
was
in
there at half
Morningside.
one.
Aye,
You're
'cause
fucked.
you
You're
stay in-
fucked out there. Nobody cares.
You fucked it there. You deserve what you get, you cunt. Aye.
It's convenient as fuck. And Amazon Music and Prime all including that.
Prime is
It's
shite,
great.
mate.
That's no
Tell
shite.
me 2 things you watch in Prime Video.
Right, fine.
Apart from
I've watched a
Outlander.
few films in Prime.
What's this
What
stuff?
have you watched?
Parasite.
Parasite, that's
Parasite.
a Japanese thing.
Yeah, it's
Come
on,
on, you
it's
get
on
that
Prime
off the
Video.
torrent sites, mate. You don't need to go to Jeff Bezos for that, know what I mean? Get that off Pirate Bay for fuck all. So what you's all watching in Prime that you can't
I
watch
watch
anywhere else, and
American
don't say Outlander,
Gods.
Spanks. Don't say Outlander, or I'll slap you.
Well,
that Laura will
I-
feel
well,
it.
Laura
I'll slap you
watches
so
it.
hard Laura will feel it.
Laura watches that. And she watches Vikings. You can't get that anywhere
Oh, I
else.
love Vikings.
Right,
Ragnar
there you go.
Oh, I love it. But I download it. Fuck Jeff. What are you saying, Sweeney? Sorry.
I'm saying you don't get that as part of the Prime.
The Vikings thing.
Aye, do.
You do, aye. Aye, but I think they've only got 4 series yet.
Go up to Cumbernauld, man, and just fucking a rocket launcher thing. Just kill it outright.
What's it called?
A mad place for a studio, isn't it?
Aye.
You see that?
What's that?
Outlander, it's filmed in Cumbernauld.
That's right. Aye.
Is that the one that we drive by all the time and use a lot?
Aye.
That's that. Is that that
Big,
one? Aye.
big grey and yellow building, aye.
Is that what
Yeah.
they're filming that?
Aye.
Fuck's sake,
I think
man.
they film a few things
It's
in
the
there. aye.
worst thing that's ever been created.
A programme about Vikings.
No,
that what it is?
No, it's I'm going to explain this to you, right? It's a Scottish clan programme that are time travellers. So they can get back. That says, in fact, I'm going to stop there. That says enough.
Fucking Neil's brothers in it, man. Stop slagging it.
Sorry, Neil.
Well, he's lots of extras in it, to be fair. I don't know. Makes any difference.
Neil, but it's still shite in it, mate.
I don't know.
It's daft. It's daft as fuck. Laura loves it, but it's daft.
It sounds I mean, time travel. I'm always up for time travel. But,
Exactly. Swanee
would check
slagging
it
it
out,
out.
It's fucking shite. It's absolute shite, man.
Do you know what I mean? That time travelling.
It's fucking garbage, but see if it was realistic.
Scottish time. I never thought I'd see the day there would be a Scottish time travel programme getting filmed in Cumbernauld.
It's like 1978 earlier anyway, you know what I mean? So they're like with their kilts on.
All you need to do is go round the other way of the roundabout, and you end up going through like a black hole in time. That's why there's that many of them. It's like some sort of like UFO grid system.
Mind the first couple of gigs we played with you, Neil, and we picked you up in Cumbernauld,
That's right, aye.
and that wee bit at the back with this.
I never knew
That's
existed.
Outlander, mate. That's Outlander. They're all running about with claymores and shit up that part.
Did he speak a Scottish accent in that? Or?
Oh, no, Sweeney, it's worse than Martin Compston on fucking
Super
Line of Duty.
Scottish.
It's terrible, mate. It's
Did he
terrible. Don't
speak a
watch
Scottish
it.
accent?
I love you.
It's
Always
like
love.
Mel Gibson and Braveheart Scottish accent stuff. Aye, it's-
I don't know. See you, Jimmy.
Aye, it's
Aye.
Highland accents. It's all Highland
they're on
accents.
about with like the fucking ginger wigs on and that, know what I mean? It's terrible,
Try to
man.
catch a Loch Ness monster.
Women love it, but women absolutely love it.
Did he?
They'll fucking love it, man. It's the new Take the High Road. Know what I mean?
It's just an internet thing. It's no on any.
Nah, it's just on Prime. Aye, it's just on Prime.
Prime alone. Aye, you get it off an internet. I'll send you it through the dark web now, mate, if you want to.
There's many a penis in it. That's why.
There's many a penis.
Many a penis.
Jeff get divorced, didn't he?
He did.
That's right,
She
aye.
only get 40 million.
Aye, right.
She
Ah,
only get 40 million. That's a sin. I feel fucking heart sorry for that woman. I really do. How's she got to survive? How is that woman going to fucking get her Cocoa Pops tomorrow with that 40 million scabby pounds that she's got in her bank account? Know what I mean?
I thought she'd get fucking.
It was
But-
billions. I'm saying 40 million. It was billions she probably got. She get half his fucking wealth, didn't she?
Did she?
Aye, she's
That's
50-50, mate. That's why you should never... Well, how long have you stayed with Laura Newspanko?
Jeff Bezos.
Years nearly.
50%. 50% of all you own. See your pink fridge? Kiss goodbye to 50%
Don't own
of
that
that.
anyway. It's own fuck all, man.
See your wee mic there that you're talking through? 50% of that's Laura's.
Right.
35 billion. That's what she got this morning.
That's what she got.
35 billion? Where is she tonight? Is she on Tinder?
I think that's the problem. But see, if people never gave people 35 billion,
Aye.
they wouldn't need to get rid of 35 billion.
Exactly.
I mean, whatever amount of $1,000 or whatever a second you were saying,
That's
thanks,
incredible,
it's like,
man.
isn't it right? Do you know what I
Isn't
mean?
it, Merv?
There's some far wrong if it's like that, and especially if his workers and that are getting shafted. Do you know what I mean? Which apparently is the case in these warehouses and that. I think that's what I've heard about Amazon. But
You're right, mate. I seen the documentary that we're all
too
talking
much
about.
money.
That. Aye,
Aye,
nobody
people should
have
make
that
money and
amount
they
of money,
should-
man. No cunt.
and people should people should have a business and does really well and brilliant and make some money in that. But surely there needs to be a point.
A limit.
Where, aye,
It's like the football.
get some
innit?
tax in it.
If you look at the Premier League now, they're trying to do the caps and the fair play, financial fair play and all that. But then does that bring capitalism down? Does that mean that you can't go and have all the money and get the best players? So there's a big worldwide argument going on now for all of that. And I suppose we're talking about it a lot tonight. Try to go out and be an entrepreneur. We're trying to do the band. We're trying
Aye, that's
to do the business stuff.
The whole
We're talking about
all
that.
that
innit?
is.
So it's uncapped.
That's the way forward, aye. But people should, like I say, entrepreneurs and businesses and all that, it's amazing, it's amazing stuff. People making stuff out of nothing and creating money for the economy and that, it's great. But these guys are just this is a result of governments that won't actually put a dent in taxing. And I suppose it just, maybe the other thing is governments don't have the ability, either don't physically have the ability or choose not to.
These companies get so big that they employ fucking 50,000 folk in their country and things like that. And it's like, if Amazon could go, well, nah, tell you what, we'll just pull it, we'll do this, we'll do that. So it is a bit of short and curlies.
It's definitely difficult
as well. But like, your point about taxation and everything like that, Merv, is like Apple and that went through it. Every big company, Google, but some of these mobs they can negate tax, and the amount of the money and tax that we have to pay and stuff like that. There's we've got high power lawyers and accountants and fucking your big boys trying to get work out ways how you can get around it. I mean, it's almost like a game, but you're right. It's like the government need to cosh down in that. But when you've got these boys, these accountancy firms and that are finding out any loophole to try and get it tax diminished or distributed or even deferred in cases, like it's a minefield. It's a very, very complex thing, isn't it?
It goes back to the core of communist or socialist environments and capitalist environments. So if you read the Animal Farm
that's where I would say capitalism fails.
Aye, absolutely.
There is a lot of good things about capitalism, and you can start a business or you can buy a house or X, Y, and Z, but when it gets to that point, then it's failing. Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
Because then if there's something's not, then it's just a really sparse.
It's everything's just winner takes all then, isn't it? It's every man for themselves. And then when it becomes like that, your human instinct is, well, if I'm every man for themselves, I'm going to make the 87 billion and every cunt else can get no billion. So they can all just starve to death and I'll no matter. I'll be sitting up my castle eating all the turkey of the day. So where do you split that? Where do you get human beings to go, do you know what, right, see if I earn 40 billion, I don't need that shit, I'm going to give you 20 so you can get to all the people that are fucking dying out in the streets and that. So where do you get to the point where you're able to tap into that? Where do you get capitalism to stop and, well, no communism but socialism to be a bit of that?
No, I go into much of a tangent, but what you probably don't do is break away from groups of countries that have to answer collectively to these types of things, i.e. Europe. Do you know what I mean? It's a global issue. It's like freaking COVID's a global issue. You need to fight these things globally, but that's a whole different issue. I'm going off on a tangent, but I'll say banger for Jeff Bezos.
You're better. Like if the 5 hours on this podcast, we'll probably do it better all together. Do you know what I mean? With 5 heats going, how do we sort this problem out?
Yeah.
Instead of one end just facing it.
Yeah.
So it's like it's all better together. I think it's been branded about, but it's like
wait a minute, I'm not agreeing with that. Where did better together come from?
No better together. But if you're thinking like as a collective, you're better off generally. You know what I mean? That's how, like we were saying about Europe and things like that. Like, I
think how it's ran, you need to look at it more individually as well. So you are absolutely right in what you are saying. See if you're collectively together as a human race, like a world human race, everything's fucking better. There's no doubt about that. Absolutely no argument in that. If everybody's on the same page, brilliant. But if you come down to things like Britain or Brexit or yes or no or any of that kind of shit, if you look at it like what it is in reality, then you're looking at, thousands of years of colonialism and thousands of years of fucking barbaric shit that's going on and thousands of years of people suffering, and you just want to go, right, do you know what, we've had enough of that, let's try something different. So I think that's made the argument for let's separate that a wee bit. And I'm a nationalist, I'll say that, I'm a nationalist. I want Scotland to be a national, an independent country. I voted yes. I would love them to be separated from the United Kingdom, always have done, always will do. But I think you're right as well. You've got a point there for, see if the whole world sat down one day and went, you know what guys, we're on the fucking same page here. Let's do this and let's do it all together. Then better together is definitely something that I would go for, no doubt about it. But see, when you bring it down to individual stuff like we're living in, I think there's a lot more complex shit going on with that.
There is two different questions, and I think Scotland, the general consensus is they would go back into Europe anyway, so it still is that collectivism. If Scotland did go independent, but for me, a lot of the reasons probably why Brexit happened, I think a lot of the arguments by a lot of the people who count would have been for reasons of less regulation and more opportunities for people making billions unregulated.
So boosting capitalism for that cause, if you like.
Aye, for the individual people rather than because one of the good things about having a somewhat Europe is it does hold people to account a wee bit. It's the start of that. Do you know what I mean? It is like
human rights laws, working rights laws.
They can work. Aye.
Yeah.
Fun and games, all political action.
I know, man, that could go political there, and Spanko just come back on, so we better just finish this off, because he's going off his nut, not I mean.
Not at all.
Nobody wants to fight that cunt. Look at the size of him. And advertise. Neil, you're looking a wee bit well on there, son. Have you enjoyed the podcast tonight? Aye.
I have actually. I have. Just actually, I've been working that much that I just like to sit down. It's quite nice.
You're a grafter, mate. I'll give you that. See, when I seen you at practice last week, you were looking buff as fuck. See, if I was gay, I would have honestly felt your arse. I'm no joking, man.
Nothing but buns of steel you would have felt, man.
You're, mate, honestly. Look at you. You're like Outlander himself if he's a person. Never mind your brother. You're like fucking Outlander yourself.
Right, let's fucking wrap this up.
Good fun.
Thank you very much for coming on.
Sweeney, it's been absolutely brilliant.
Thanks a lot.
It's nice to
Really
meet you.
appreciate your time, man. I know you're a busy man.
No, brilliant been on. Good fun, good chat, good laugh. All good.
Thanks very much for listening to the Carbon Copy COVID Curer podcast. We'll be back soon with another ill-informed, chat-filled episode. Why not tell us what you think by email, inquiry@carboncopymusic.band, or visit our website, carboncopymusic.band. And if you're feeling really generous and you haven't already, please give us a like on our Facebook, facebook.com/carboncopy4, and even our Instagram, @carboncopyweddingband. Thanks again. No bangers were hammed during the make of this podcast. Carbon Copy reserve the right to moan about anything they like, and they will. Thank you.